it's so rude and degrading, and and you think it's funny. It's not cute. Okay, it's never cute.
How are you feeling? The season is just about to wrap up. Obviously, we have a lot of drama between you and Teresa going down, but watching it back, how are you feeling, watching it back, watching that fight with Teresa?
I actually feel worse than when I lived it, because I didn't know what she was saying off camera, what she was saying downstairs. To hear her say that she's coming to beat me up, I mean, she's pushing 50, saying she's going to come beat me up. That's upsetting. Obviously, it's more upsetting to watch it back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what was like the most surprising thing that she said, when, cameras weren't around you? What was the most surprising thing that she said to you?
When cameras weren't around?
Yeah,
like
sorry. When you were watching it back.
That she was going to come back and beat me up and all of those other things. Yeah. That was disappointing. It's just like, threatening physical violence, okay, stop already. I mean, this isn't Mob Wives. I mean, cut me a break.
Was there anything about that night that you regret that you didn't say or that you should have done? Was there anything about that night that you wish you could have done over?
No. I mean, I think I handled it very, very well. Mm-hmm. I was calm. I was never going to do something back. What is disturbing to me is after the ponytail pull and that year, she said she was going to do everything to make it up to me. Any of my friends, be it this friend group or my friend group outside of this show, I'm brutally honest with. Mm-hmm. And I would say, what's going on here? The way she handled it, I think she handled it poorly, by deflecting and being dishonest and not being upfront. It could have gone a totally different way. With that being said, we also decided after the ponytail, there will never be any, physicality amongst us. And that went totally down the tubes.
I mean, what is more upsetting to you, the ponytail pull with Danielle or this fight with Teresa?
Well, she orchestrated the ponytail pull, and I thought that was the end, and she did this again. So obviously this.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've just been giving her too many chances at this point?
Yeah, I've given her a lot of passes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
I've given her one too many passes.
Yeah. Do you feel like now that you're a few months out of it, I know kind of watching it back kind of rehashes everything for you, but do you feel like maybe now that some time has been removed, do you feel like she has any remorse for what happened?
I just did the reunion and she doesn't have any remorse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I can laugh about it, but, she's not one to really have a lot of remorse.
Mm-hmm. Is that upsetting to you? Because you have been friends for quite some time.
She feels, I thought you were my friend, and I thought I am her friend. I am a good friend, tells you the truth, doesn't always tell you what you want to hear. And she's a different idea of friendship. Yeah, of course it's upsetting to me. I met her in a very sad time in her life. I was very nurturing, empathetic. That's the type of person I am. You could see I could run a gamut of emotions. Even if I'm not the closest with someone, Jennifer and I made up in a genuine way. Mm-hmm. Of course it's upsetting. I think she is a level of paranoia I've never seen in anybody.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kind of piggybacking off that, why do you think she was so convinced that you were the one to go to the blogs? Was it just because you were asking him a few questions about himself?
Yeah, I think because when she wants something to be true, I mean, she can delude herself into thinking something is true even when it's not. Mm-hmm. I've never quite witnessed something like that, but yeah. I'm brutally honest, even with myself. And, she doesn't want to see what's right in front of her.
Mm-hmm. Do you still have red flags about Louis?
I feel a lot better. I think he addressed a lot of things. I think that's all that, questions, you know what I mean? I think when something's out there, people have the platform to address it on this show. We're very lucky that way. When things are out there, people can easily make it right, address it, tell the truth and move on. Even if it's not the pretty truth, whatever it is. I think he's done, after the season, he's done a great job of that. And you know what? I do know that he loves her very much, and good luck to him. I mean, he's, I'll take him over than any day over her at this point.
Louis, in this past episode, he said that he felt like the women didn't really give him a fair shot. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like the women didn't give him a fair shot to begin with?
I think it's not that we didn't give him a fair shot. I think Teresa didn't give us the opportunity to know the real him. She shut him down a lot. She wouldn't let him speak. I think he probably got nervous. I don't think it was that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you said, kind of watching back the season, it seems like when everybody asked questions, he wanted to answer them, but she kind of shut him down. Do you think all of this could have been squashed so much earlier if he just got the chance to speak?
I think it's not even that he didn't have a chance to speak. I think she probably told him, don't say this, don't say, and I think it was something like that.
Do you want this relationship to work out for her?
Of course. No one wants to see anything bad happen to her. Yeah. No one wants to see that. I mean, that's insane.
Right. And it appears that things get heated with Louis in the season finale. What can you kind of tease about that?
Yeah, he gets very upset. He does get very upset, I think, out of frustration. He says some things that are not very savory. Mm-hmm. Or palatable. But, when people are upset, they say things that are not good.
Yeah. Out of all the women, who had your back the most through all of this drama?
I think Jackie, I think Melissa, mm-hmm. I think Tracy, clearly. I think even, I think Dolores was even very empathetic to me, even though she's friends with Teresa. I think she understood. Mm-hmm. I think all of those women are good friends to me. They know I don't come from a place of just like being, I want to ruin your life. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm about. I don't want to see, listen, Teresa has body shaming this season more than once. She has, in the past, orchestrated ponytail pull on me. She has always taken everybody's side over me, in every fight. Be it Danielle, be it Jennifer. Historically, I have never done that to her. I ask questions. I don't even say anything bad about this guy. I ask questions that are out there everywhere, in every media outlet, just like that any concern from do, and all of a sudden I'm evil. So she always comes a place of that, that I am the worst. So I find that very, very bizarre. And everybody else knows that I am not that. I've done nothing but champion women. I've helped Melissa with her business. I have done everything to try and lift them up. Even Jennifer, who we have fought for years, when she was down, and I saw how down she really was. We had a serious conversation. I was there to help lift her up. I mean, I sent her to my real life therapist, and she knows that. So it's like, come on.
Do you want to have a friendship with Teresa at this point, or do you think that that's
I tried, and I think that I even tried after everything she's done, and she wasn't as receptive. I mean, it's on her. Mm-hmm. That's not on me. That is not on me.
So, but you'd be open to it if she was.
Listen, you know what I'd be open to? If she really worked on herself. That's what I'd be open to. And I'm not talking about doing ayahuasca. I'm talking about real life therapy.
Do you think that she would ever do that though?
You know what? I think she could do whatever works for her. I think it's about her, not about me. She doesn't have to do anything for me. I think it's about self-reflection.
Yeah. Do you think anybody from the cast is going to be invited to the wedding?
Yeah, I think some people for sure. I think Melissa, mm-hmm. Will be invited, and Jennifer. Mm-hmm. I don't know who else. I really don't know who else.
Yeah. Was it disappointing for you that Melissa didn't stick up for you when Teresa was doing this big apology, or do you understand the predicament that she was kind of put in?
I think Melissa is so jaded to the way Teresa apologizes. She's like, oh, that's her apology. I think she didn't even know what to say. I wasn't disappointed, but I was like, I immediately said at the table, like, do not even say to me, and you can see Melissa's one of my closest friends. And I immediately said to her, I was like, don't even. And she knew.
Yeah. You said that you were pissed off at Joe Gorga's reaction to the apology, that he was kind of an enabler.
Yes. I mean, come on. It's like, giving a participation trophy. Cut me a break. At our age, you should know how to apologize.
Yeah.
Don't say you're provoked. Don't say this. Just like, I'm sorry for my behavior. I'm not begging for an apology. It's ridiculous. Don't give up some lame excuse.
Yeah, I know for me, like my jaw was on the floor when she was, throughout this apology, and then she started body shaming you as well. And,
exactly. You give a lame apology, then you insult me and body shame me. And, say, well, at least she got this, it's so rude and degrading, and, and you think it's funny. It's not cute. Okay. It's never cute.
Yeah. I mean, how did that make you feel in that moment?
No, I was pissed. I was agitated. I mean, I've said this before. Thank God I'm tough, strong. But if it was anybody else and any young woman, that could really cut somebody. And on a season when we're talking about eating disorders, which she didn't really know about, but she knows that Jackie suffers with that. I don't know where your head is that you think that's acceptable.
Yeah.
It's never acceptable to body shame anybody. We're in an era of body positivity. You cannot be behaving that way. And to do it where we have issues even within our group, it's a sick situation. But nothing shocks me.
Are you so proud of Jackie for opening up and kind of sharing this journey with us this season?
I think what she did is so brave, so strong, amazing. The positive response she's gotten from so many people. She looks great. She's so healthy. And to share that is just so brave.
It really is. No, it's been such a, because a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's been a very...
and so many people suffer.
Yeah. It's so true. I mean, what can you kind of tease about the reunion? I know that this is going to be a fiery reunion. I think Jennifer just said in an interview that Andy had to calm everybody down a little bit.
Oh yeah. Andy, I've never seen him so frustrated, agitated. It's the longest reunion I've ever had. I think that he's ever had. We went way over. It's crazy. I said it was draining, exhausting. Fights explode with people you would never think they would explode with. Usually on reunions, we have a lot of resolve. This reunion, there was a lot of people going away still agitated, new people fighting. So there's no resolve this season. There just isn't.
Yeah, Melissa said, I think on Watch What Happens Live, that she hasn't spoken to Teresa since the reunion. Does that surprise you at all?
No, doesn't surprise me. It was ugly. It was ugly. I was like, wow.
Have you spoken to Teresa since the reunion?
I haven't spoken to her, no.
Yeah.
But I will say she did text me for my birthday. Which was her. Which is a little odd. but that's, you always get a weird thing. But that was for her, that was I guess, her mind works, but it was graceful. She gave an inch.
Did you respond?
Yeah, of course. Listen, I am very responsive, ladylike. I want to do the right thing, but I don't do anything calculated.
Definitely. Was Teresa upset at Dolores for being loyal to you?
Well, I saw in the after show, she said that. It seemed like she was very upset by that. And I find that bizarre. I think you can love two people. I think, two things can be true. You could be a good friend to two people. You could think one person's right, and that doesn't mean that you're not loyal to the other person. This isn't high school.
Yeah. Does their friendship kind of falter a little bit now? Or
I don't know. I think they have such a history.
Right.
I think they really love each other. I think that's what it is. I think, they'll always be close. But based on what she said on the after show, I'm sure, she seems agitated. I think she has a different view of friendship, but I think it's not realistic.
I mean, and you said that there's no resolve, but who is in Teresa's corner at the end of the day? Is it just Jennifer and Dolores at this point?
I think Jennifer is always in Teresa's corner. I'm not saying Dolores is. I think Dolores understands Teresa, but I would say, Dolores is friends with everyone.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Gia getting into the mix this season, and are she and Joe Gorga kind of going at it? I
think that was very hard for me to watch. That water runs very deep. It was painful, and I felt very badly for Joe Gorga because it was upsetting, because I know that he has no ill intent ever, and that's a fact, and I know it cuts him very much. The other thing is with Gia is just, what upset me was I saw Teresa say, she was so proud Gia stuck up for her when Gia, came back at me a little. she knows I'm never going to argue with Gia. Just like, why wouldn't you want to keep your daughter out of this? That's my whole point. Why do you want to drag her into this mess? I think it's inappropriate.
Yeah,
I would never say, I love Gia, and I would never say anything rude to her. She's younger than my youngest child, and I'm never going to say that.
Was it almost like she was having her fight her battles for her a little bit?
It was just like, I understand why Gia wants to be protective of her mother, but you can't have it both ways. Yeah. You can't have it like, keep my daughter's name out of your mouth, and then Gia, comes in there. It's like, because no one is going to ever argue with someone's child. It's just not going to happen.
Right. And like you said, you mentioned Jennifer before, the two of you were able to make amends this season, after multiple seasons of arguing. Do you regret bringing up the affair, or do you feel like it kind of not forced you guys to be friends, or, kind of resolve your differences?
I'll tell you what it was. This keeps coming up. I didn't bring up the affair saying your husband had an affair. I brought up the affair because I said, you're a hypocrite. It was not about Bill at all in the affair. It was just about her, constantly attacking me, and the sexual harassment of me, degrading it, saying I slept with all these things. In the meanwhile, you celebrate your husband, make it out like he's perfect when he was no different. And that was my point. It's just like, well, why is he not a piece of shit if I am? That's a piece of whatever, you know what I mean? So, and it was the hypocrisy. And then when I found out she was digging about it had nothing to do with that. If I knew, and I said this to her, that she would crumble like that, I would have never said it. I really would, because I knew she knew about the affair. I had no idea. I thought it was going to be like, we're going to have this argument. She would see her part, like, I've been a hypocrite these years, pretending everything's perfect, making excuses. And that would have been it. Like I had said to her before, I didn't want to cut you to the core. I never thought we've never seen her cry. She's been such a villain for so many years. Who would know that she was going to be like that? I would never want to see her crumble like that.
Are she and Bill in a good place right now?
They seem like they are. I think everybody works through their issues. That's my whole point. Who would know they even had issues?
Right.
And because she said everything was great.
It seems like the guys had some drama this season as well, with Bill kind of going at it with Joe and things like that. Are they still the Wolfpack still as tight as ever?
I think the men could really, move past anything. It doesn't cut as deep with the men.
That is true. And you and Jennifer are on good terms again?
I think we still had to hash some things out at the reunion. I think we have to rebuild our trust factor. I think she feels like she doesn't trust me. I feel like I don't always trust her. I don't always feel like things, I don't always think she hears things correctly, or, she interprets things differently than the average bear. But, I think we're working on it. But I do think, things have moved forward.
Right. And like you said, this season doesn't really have much resolve. So are you happy to have a little bit of a break before you jump back into the next season?
Yeah, I feel like there was no break. For some reason, I just don't feel like there was a break.
Right. It's just constant, keep going.
Yeah, I just feel like it's always in your face. You finish filming, then the season's airing, then you're talking about it, then you're reliving it, then this one's talking about, I think it just doesn't end.
Definitely.
Because you want the truth, Kris, it's your real life, right? So it doesn't end, right?
Right. And how's Marge Sr. doing?
Marge Sr. is doing amazing. The only thing, it's just she has a little PTSD from the Ukraine. The episode was so beautiful when we saw, but it's just very reminiscent of her life before. But she's great, and she's holding up. She does a lovely weather report every day on her Instagram, and gives world news. So thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure catching up with you, and I cannot wait for the rest of the season and the reunion.
Thank you, Christine. Thanks.